Do you have toxic relationships? People around you that make you feel bad? Maybe it's even yourself. Hi, I'm Mary Bourne, traditional naturopath, and I love sharing natural remedies with people. Natural remedies provide strength and help with endurance, whereas drugs deal with symptoms. I don't treat diagnosed conditions, and I may talk about them in these classes, but what I feel is important is to balance the body. When the body is balanced, the symptoms just go away. They're sort of like those signals in your car. If you meet the need, there's no need for that signal to go on. So the purpose of these online classes is to help you decide what steps you want to take to have good health. These suggestions are not to replace a medical doctor's diagnosis or what their recommendations are, but to give you an idea of what you can do to take control of your health and to be healthier with natural remedies. Today I want to talk about relationships that may be creating imbalances in your body. Emotions have a huge play in whether the body heals or not. They even can determine whether you get sick or stay well. You've probably heard of people who have said, my child came home with a cold and now it's going to go through the whole family, or the flu, it's going to just hit us all. Well, you just created your experience for the next 2 weeks, because if you believe it to be true and you don't take steps to prevent it, it's going to be true. So what is your self-talk like? Are you kind to yourself? The first relationship I want to discuss is the relationship you have with yourself. We tend to be our hardest critic. We call ourselves stupid or idiot. What voice are we actually hearing? Is it a parent or a teacher or a coach? Once you identify the voice, you ask, is this real? Is it true? Dr. Daniel Amen says that most of what we tell ourselves isn't true. And he wrote this lovely book, Change Your Brain, Change Your Life, for the company I partner with, Nature Sunshine. He actually came and gave several lectures to us as a group, and I learned an awful lot about him and how he feels we can improve our brains. So the part I want to talk about today is called the prefrontal cortex, right here. Because when we have problems with our prefrontal cortex, we have short attention span, we have impulsivity, disorganization, procrastination, poor judgment, lack of empathy, fail to give close attention to detail, and we lack insight. We have trouble learning from mistakes, so we keep making the same dumb mistake over and over again. We lose things, poor planning skills. A lot of stuff comes out of our mouth before we have a hold back and think about it. And we look at it and say, ooh, did I say that? Did that really come out of my mouth? So they lack clear goals. So I want to talk about, because a lot of that depends on our ability to relate to even ourselves. So he says that we can support our brains and our emotions with some good supplements. So the ones he recommends for the prefrontal cortex are omega-3 essential fatty acids, antioxidants, and a good natural multivitamin and mineral. So that's not one a day, and that's not these synthetic things that you take one of and expect to get all your nutrients, and they're about the size of a pea. How in the world can you get all the nutrients you need with something the size of a pea that you take once a day? You know what? Good health takes sense. It makes sense. We don't look at it and question it. It just sounds right and true. And that's some of our thinking. If we could just step back and say, where did that ever come from? We'd be a lot better off. So he does something what's called a brain scan. Now, you may not be able to get the full view of what this looks like, but this is a 90-day before and after. And it's more relevant when you can see down here that these are what he calls the hot spots, and how when you, after taking these supplements, this particular person did a before and after scan and recognize not only symptomatically, but here is physical proof that when you give the body what it needs, it can repair. So he has other, he calls the prefrontal cortex the boss because it really does run what you think. So he has a questionnaire for all the sections of the brain, and there's 100 questions in this questionnaire. And let me just read to you, here's the questionnaire, and actually, you know, if you want this, I will be happily, just email me that you would like a copy of it. But let me read to you, if you can grab a pencil and some paper. And number 1 is rarely, number 2 is occasionally, number 3 is frequently, number 4 is very frequently. So then you rate each question, and it's best, he recommends, that somebody observes you and answers the questions from their point of view. So that's, you know, like relationships. Maybe you didn't even know that you do these things. A lot of times we're not observant of what we do. So he recommends that not only you take the test, but you have somebody who observes you take the test with you. So for the first one, he says, trouble paying close attention to details or makes careless mistakes. Now, that can be 1, rarely, 2, occasionally, 3, frequently, or 4, very frequently. The next one is trouble sustaining attention in routine situations, like doing homework. You know, they'll sit down and do it and then off and running, and then they can come back to it. Or they lose track totally. Trouble listening. Fails to finish things. You know, that would be somebody else observing you. Maybe you, in your mind, are still in the process of finishing it, but they look at it like, it's been 6 months and you still haven't cleaned the garage. They have poor organization for time or space. So in other words, their work area is messy, or they lose track of time. What they think takes 15 minutes actually takes a half hour or more. Avoids, dislikes, or reluctant to engage in tasks that require sustained mental effort. They lose things. They're easily distracted. Forgetful. Poor planning skills. Lack clear goals and forward thinking. So these are just some of the questions. There are 29 that pertain to the prefrontal cortex. And he says that if you get a certain amount, like 8 out of them that are in the 3 area, you are extremely deficient in nutrients. So it would behoove you to take that test and see. Or, you know what, just get the supplements and you'll feel better. So, he also has some suggestions about getting help. So maybe some organizational self-help coaching or goal-setting exercises or relationship counseling. But what you can do for yourself is make sure you're taking omega-3 essential fatty acids. Is necessary for all the areas of the brain. The brain is mostly made of fat. And he also suggests some supplements that increase dopamine. And he suggests SAMe. Now, SAMe is a wonderful supplement. It is a natural compound manufactured in the body by the liver, and it is present in all living cells. It is required in over 40 biochemical functions. So if you're lacking in SAMe, these functions are struggling. And these functions include mood regulation, cognitive function, general nerve conditions, liver and heart health. So if you're not, if your liver is overloaded, you may not be able to manufacture it. And also we know as we age, we lose the ability to make SAMe as we did in our 20s. So most of the body needs a good source of SAMe. So it is necessary for manufacturing important brain compounds like neurotransmitters and phospholipids. So wouldn't it be strange if all this Alzheimer's that is coming about, or Parkinson's, is because of the low-fat diets that were recommended even up to 10 years ago. So here's a meta-analysis done by Dr. Bressa on SAMe, and he concludes the efficacy of SAMe in treating depressive syndromes and disorders is superior to that of placebo and comparable to that of standard tricyclic antidepressants. Now, tricyclic antidepressants are the most recommended by doctors. And since SAMe is naturally occurring compound with relatively few side effects, it is potentially important treatment for depression. It acts on mood rapidly, most often within a few days. Now, a lot of times antidepressants, they'll tell you you won't feel anything, any progress for at least 4 or 5 weeks, maybe sometimes 6 weeks. SAMe has no withdrawal reaction, and we know that most common antidepressants do. If you don't downregulate them, you can have severe side effects. So it also appears to help fight premature aging. That's always a plus. And it can regenerate new cells, especially in the joints and tissues. So at 800 milligrams, SAMe helps the body with mood, emotional well-being, energy, joint health, and mobility. Now, this is a meta-analysis. This isn't just me saying this. This is fact. So the bottle recommends that you take 1 or 2 per day to support the nervous system and better brain health. And it's not recommended for anyone diagnosed with bipolar, because why? Bipolar are the extreme opposite ends between depression and, you might say, anxiety, or manic. And so they, when you're taking SAMe, it may push the manic side. So it's just really a good thing to stay away from. There are plenty of other supports that help with balancing the body when you're diagnosed with something like bipolar. And the other caution it has is that you don't want to take it the same time you're taking an antidepressant. So if you take your antidepressant first thing in the morning, then wait till lunchtime and you can take your SAMe. And then eventually you can downregulate, talk to your MD, maybe he'll help you with the downregulation of the antidepressant. You know, the thing with antidepressants is that it makes you get into this lull state. And so then they need to give you an upper. and then you need a downer because you can't sleep. And it just becomes this cyclical, they call it tricyclic antidepressants, and I think that word comes from the fact that you need 3 medications for the same condition because of offsetting the other 2 side effects. So again, if you'd like a copy of that questionnaire, just email me, Dr. Mary at bornforhealth.com, and I'll be happy to send you a copy of it. So yesterday in my eGram, I send out a electronic newsletter every Monday. If you want to get on that list, you can use the same email and say, I'd like to join the electronic newsletter, and I'll be happy to do it, or you can read it off of my website. I post it every Monday. So yesterday's was about Sammy, and it has further insight on other areas of the body, such as osteoarthritis, where there's been some studies that have shown some really beneficial effects. So, by the way, if you like what you're hearing and you appreciate my message, then send me some hearts. I would very much appreciate it. Facebook will help promote these videos if I get enough hearts or emojis or comments. If you have a personal comment, be sure to email me. I'm happy to reply. I generally can reply within 24 hours. If you have other comments like yay, good job, whatever, then send those on the link. But just as in an airplane, they always tell you that first put your oxygen mask on before you help others. We must first love ourselves before we can share that love with others. Maybe it's too hard to think about loving yourself. Maybe it would be better just to think about making an effort to be kind to yourself. We are not very kind to ourselves. Sometimes we call ourselves names, and we're just not very nice inwardly, like that's stupid, and you're so dumb, and so stop calling yourself names. The best way to think of speaking to yourself is to think of talking to your inner child. You would not talk to a child with that mean talk. So give yourself encouragement. Think of yourself as a coach. If you make a mistake, think, what can I learn by that? And mistakes are often given to us as a learning experience. The other voice in your head should be the cheerleader. Give yourself a hooray, a big high five when you've done something particularly difficult. Even when we make mistakes, we're learning and we know what to do and what not to do. So let that cheerleader shout out. If you are in a negative relationship that isn't working for you, first examine, what are you contributing to this relationship? It takes 2 to argue. Can you change that? If it is someone you work with, voice how you feel or take it to a superior. But remember, what are you contributing to this situation? Perhaps if you can see it from the other person's perspective, you can change a little bit of how you address it. If you see that what you're saying pushes that person's button, how else could you get your message across? Take responsibility for the situation. We have a wonderful flower essence remedy called Be Responsible. That means to be able to respond in an adult and calm manner. It also helps with, here, let me read what it says. It may assist the body with promoting self-honesty, may help encourage self-responsibility, may help with self-defeating behavior. Maybe you need to speak up more or voice how you feel. You keep internalizing all this stuff and then it rages out of you. Well, that's not healthy. So this remedy may give you courage to discuss your feelings in a calmer method. Flower essence remedies can be taken by the dropper straight. So you can just take it, drop it into your mouth, hold it to a count of 5 and swallow. Take a nice deep healing breath. and then you're done. Or you can take a couple of dropperfuls, put it in a bottle of water, and sip on it throughout the day so that you're constantly being assisted by this and being supported by these flower remedies. You can also put it in a spray bottle and spray it around, take some deep breaths. It's energy medicine, so it works with the energy. Now, you can potentize that by adding some essential oils. So, if you add like pink grapefruit to or bergamot, these are very uplifting and light essences, the essential oils that add to the potency of the essence. So you can spray it around rooms, you can spray your office and change the atmosphere in the office. So the negative relationship may be your spouse or child. Take steps to figure out what went wrong. You did love that person at one time. What changed? You know, sometimes it really helps just to get some old pictures out and look at how much fun you were having, or the places you visited, and rekindle that desire to be with that person and share experiences with that person. So all life is about choices, and sometimes we need to be sure our body is getting the nutrients necessary to think properly. We all need a daily supplement with vitamins and minerals, as Dr. Amen mentioned, and omega-3 essential fatty acids, antioxidants. And one of the things that I found particularly helpful in this situation is Super Trio. Now, Super Trio has all three. They come in a nice cellophane packet. You can put it in your purse or your briefcase and have it with you at lunchtime and take it. It's just a really good way of getting the nutrients in your body that your brain needs, your body needs, and it's not getting with food. Now, you can click on the link where it says tickets, and that'll bring you to the Nature Sunshine website, and where the products that I've mentioned in these series is in that, and you can look at how to get them. You can check out the quality of the supplement, what's in them. I really recommend that you click on that link and get some more information on how you can get top quality products at discount prices. Now, another flower essence that I really think is wonderful is Keep Cool, because when you have anger issues, you need something that keeps you calm, keeps you regulated. Not that you want to stifle it. You want to keep calm so that you can release what it is that is causing the anger or irritability or impatience. And Keep Cool is a wonderful flower essence that does that. Now remember, flower essences have no scent in their own. They are energy medicine. Essential oils have an aroma, so they're called aromatherapy, and you combine these two energy medicines, you have a really powerful antidote. Now, if perhaps the person who is creating negative energy in your home is a teenager, you can add flower essences to their water. You can create a spray their bedding. Pink grapefruit is a wonderful antifungal, antiviral, and antibacterial. So if you need to justify what you're doing, you could just justify by telling them that. But it keeps them calm, and after a certain amount of time, they're going to be the ones wanting to spray because that makes them feel good. Now, a formula that I love to give teenagers is called Master Gland Formula. Now, Master Gland Formula is made up of some wonderful calming and nurturing herbs of alfalfa, asparagus, dandelion, donquai. Let me read to you what it says on, and you can get these statements from my website, bornforhealth.com. and you look under the Herb Encyclopedia, it's alphabetical. Look under Master Gland. Master Gland is designed to nourish the entire glandular system and promote healthy functioning. Glandular balance is crucial for maintaining good health, as blood sugar levels, body fluids, digestion, energy, and hormone production are all regulated by various glands. Master Gland contains essential vitamins and minerals combined with specific herbs, which are rich in easily absorbed trace minerals to supply the glands with nutrients essential for optimum health. Now here we go again, balance. It's all about balancing the hormones and supporting better health. So on my Facebook, I created a link to a foot spa that's happening in February, actually February 21st. And it's Cherie Sessions, who does these, is coming to Southfield. And you can make an appointment with her by following that link and giving her a call. So I urge you to do that. This whole month has been about toxins and different things that toxins affect. And I hope you join Dr. Mary's Health to Home in February, because we're going to talk about heart and circulation. I'm going to give you some tips on herbs and supplements, as well as ideas that can help you be heart healthy. So I hope you keep watching, keep focusing on good choices for better health. Get that coach in you going, the cheerleader. And I want to thank you for viewing, and please share these messages with others. And until next week, this is Dr. Mary for the Health of It.